Hi, I'm Zach Warnicki. I'm a Math 1 teacher at Malley Creek High School, and I'd like to give you a look behind the scenes to what remote learning has been for me. So I'd like to show you the room in which I spent a lot of time working with students. As you can see here, I'm a big Packer fan. Here I had a whiteboard where I was able to work with students and show them the differences. We were able to do some discovery learning. Also have some books nearby to stay motivated. The Energy Bus, something to keep my mind on school and getting better as an educator. This book is anti-racist, just making sure that I can educate myself with all the social unrest going on. And then my wife and I are going to become parents in about a month and a half. So there's some material that I've been reading and hopefully learning from. So here basically is where I did all my work. And I have some tabs that are open with some things I'd like to quickly share. One thing I did this quarter with my students was have a rock, paper, scissors competition on Zoom. We had 8 students that participated, and it was a lot of fun, so that was fun for the kids to work on. I also worked on putting together a talent show for Ridge Road Middle School, the feeder school for Malley Creek. I had the help of another teacher, Mr. Malarzo, and we put on the show that lasted about 41 minutes long, where we had students and teachers help contribute videos, which was wonderful. You can find that on my Facebook page. I also was able to use YouTube to speak to my students, so not only they could see me, but they could hear me as well. So there are messages that were motivational and positive that I shared with them. Instagram is another place where I was able to connect with students with content, but also trying to understand and keeping updated with everything that's going on in their life. So I was able to communicate with them there. For a lot of my assignments, what I like to do is create choices for students so they could choose exactly what they wanted to work on. So I tried to really blend the academic math. As you can see here, we were working with quadratic equations and then finding out what the axis, symmetry, vertex, intercepts, domain, and range would be. But then also I tried to make sure that things would be fun for students too. So making sure that they could make some connections with things maybe that they didn't think were necessarily within the curriculum. So trying to figure out mathematically which things don't belong. And then also trying to come up with lists of things that would also keep them engaged where they had to do some reflecting. One of my favorite assignments was virtual high fives. As a teacher, I'm big into giving high fives or having special handshakes with students. So since we weren't able to be in the same location, I made sure that each student could give me a high five, each letter of 5 representing something. So F for the favorite thing that they had done while being home for remote learning, I, something that was inspirational for them, V, their vision for what they saw in their future for the next few years, E, something they enjoy, and S, something that they had struggled with while being home. And then the last thing I'd like to show you is just a final reflection. I tried to really make it some students were not only doing the math, but really kind of keeping them engaged and making them think about different ways perhaps their or their families were impacted throughout everything going on. So there was just kind of a reflection piece there. And then the last thing I challenged my students with was to really kind of dig a little bit deeper, to write a letter, song, poem, or video talking about how they were impacted with the virus. They could also write a letter to my future students, letting my future students know what to expect from class, or then talking about what potentially they wanted their legacy to be and how math was important to them. So this is a look behind the scenes. I appreciate you watching, and thank you very much.